Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. So I did this creation. You might not have seen it, but if you haven't, I'll drop a link in the description box below so you can check it out. The idea with this creation was to do a swipe in the background to create some lacing and then doing some swirls with a split cup on top to create like a 3D effect. So no matter what way you turn the painting, I feel that it gives you that 3D vibe with that lacing in the background and that block of colour on the forefront of the painting itself. So today I want to create something very similar, but I'm switching out the red, and I asked for lots of your input. I asked you what colours you want me to do. There are loads of colours that you've given me, so thank you so much. It's great to get all those ideas from you. So one of those was a blue, and I'm going to go with that today. I'm going to do some more, so don't be disappointed if I've not chosen the colour that you've given me today. But I'm going to use a combination of 4 different colours. I'm going to swipe on the background and create that 3D effect using my split cup. So I've got my split cup here. This cup was given to me by Sandra's Sensations. I'll also link her channel in the description box. Please go and check her out. She kindly put on my slogan, let's see what we can create. So let's get to it. As always, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to take you down to see the colours. I'll show you the canvas and I'll show you all the consistencies. And don't forget, check out that description box. Expand that description box because I list lots of information in there that's useful for you too. So without further ado, say it with me. Let's see what we can create. So here we go. Here are my colours for today. I'm using 3 different brands: Daler Rowney System 3 Acrylic, Winsor & Newton's Galleria, and Amsterdam. So I'm using a pale gold, a titanium white, a neutral grey, and a brilliant blue. That's my colour palette, and they're the colours that I'm going to place within my split cup. I've got 4 different compartments there. Here are the consistencies for each of those paints. I've mixed them with water and pouring medium. I've used 1 part paint, 1 part water, 3 parts pouring medium. And as you can see, it falls off the spatula and just disappears into the cup. Just make sure you can see that more clearly. Just falls off the spatula and disappears into the cup. And that's the same consistency for all 4 of those colours. There's my split cup. My colours are there for the colour palette. And I'm also using Cell Activator, which is mixed with titanium white and Australian Floetrol. Okay, so as you can see, I've put my colours in my cup. So I've got the gold, the grey, the white and the blue. That's in each of those sections. And now I'm going to put exactly the same colours in this cup to do the base. So I'm going to take these colours, layer them in this cup, and then start the process. So the first part of the process is layering the paint in 1 cup to start with the background, the base colour. And you can see I'm taking each colour one by one in turn, and just layering that in my cup. I'm then going to take the cup and I'm going to pour the cup on the canvas. But first of all, I'm just taking my paintbrush and I'm just dipping it in the paint and just stirring it a few times round and round the cup. That's just to help some of that paint, those different colours, the blues, the gold, the white, the grey, just to infuse before I start tipping the paint from the cup onto the canvas. I'm just doing that from side to side to cover the middle part of the canvas before we continue with the process. I'm just using my torch to pop any air bubbles before we continue. I'm going to spread the paint out a little bit by tilting the canvas from side to side, lifting it up and just tilting some of that paint to cover more of that background on the canvas. I'm doing that just to ensure that I've got good consistency and coverage. So I've spread the paint out by tilting, and now I want to just add a little bit more of the paint so I've got more of my base colour. And that's going to help with the flow of the paint later on in the process. So I'm just going to add in a little bit more now. So I want to create the lacing effect, the cells in the background of this piece. And I do that using a cell activator. That is a combination of Amsterdam's titanium white mixed with Australian Floetrol. 1 part paint to 4 parts Floetrol. And I place that on my spatula, and then I'm just going to spread that across the canvas. And you'll see as soon as that cell activator hits the paint on the background, those cells and that lacing start to affect and take shape. I'm going to do that one more time. Just put some of the cell activator on my palette knife. Then I'll place the palette knife on the surface area of the canvas where the paint is and just slowly swipe from one side to another, not applying too much pressure, but enough to allow that paint to just flow. So I just want to now just spread some of that paint out a little bit more before I continue with my split cup. Okay, so I'm happy now. I have tilted my canvas and I've allowed some of that paint to just go down the edges. I'm not going to worry too much more because I'm going to be adding a volume of paint from the split cup onto the canvas. I just wanted to ensure that I had good consistent coverage. So now onto the split cup, and I'm going to do some swirls again, but a little bit different. I'm going to do them closer together, so when I stretch it out there's going to be less negative space in the background, but more of those lines that you can see that I'm pouring out now with my cup. So I'm just going to tip the paint from the split cup over that middle section, and then I need to fill in some of that negative space because that's the area that's really going to just go off the canvas and down the sides. But to ensure that I've got a good flow of paint, I need that to cover those areas so it helps flow with the paint in the middle. It helps that paint be carried across the edges down the sides. So I'm just swirling the paint in those areas that you can see the white of the canvas before I start tilting and creating a different pattern. So I'm just using my torch again to pop any of the air bubbles. When you mix your paints up and you're mixing them and stirring them, then that's going to add a certain element of air to each paint that you mix up. So by using the torch, that just pops any air bubbles before you continue to stretch out the canvas itself. So I've put my gloves on, and now it's just about looking at the paint, how it flows, how I want to create a certain pattern on top. I really want those lines to kind of be the main focus of this piece. So the swirls that I've done in the middle are really going to be the elements that I keep with this creation. And I'm just going to turn my canvas around and then tilt it to the way that I want the paint to flow. And it's really about having a look at the composition as you go, having a look at the pattern that's being formed by tilting the paint and really opening up those deep lines that were created by the split cup. So you'll see that I'm tilting and turning, and just taking my time to really observe the pattern that's being created when I stretch the paint across the canvas and down the sides. And I'd really love it if you can give this video a like and a thumbs up if you're enjoying the video, and let me know about the colour palette that I've chosen for this creation in the comments below. I'm really happy with how this is looking, and I love those deep lines in the forefront with that lacing detail in the background. I really think this has created another 3D effect painting. So I'm just going to tweak my composition, tidy up my edges and take the drips off the side. And now I'm going to take you in for a closer look at the wet version and just have a look at how those colours have worked together, how you can see some of that lacing far in the background, and how that split cup has enabled me to create those kind of pillars of colour that go over the top of that lacing. I've really enjoyed doing this. I'm going to let this dry and then I'm going to take you in for a closer look at the dry version. So here's the dry version, and I love it. I love that combination of those colours. I really enjoy that lacing that's far in the background and those big bold beams of colour that are over the top. I just love how those colours work together. The white, the gold, the blue and the grey. And yeah, I feel that I've really been able to achieve that 3D effect by doing that swipe in the background and then using my split cup over the top of that pattern. I've had so much fun. Let me know what you think. I just want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you for being here week on week. Your support means the world to me. And remember, let me know in the comments below what you think about this piece and maybe what other colours you think I should do in the future. Have a great week ahead. Happy creating, and I hope I get to see you again in the next video. See you soon, everyone. Take care. Bye.